We are in the midst of a 5 million gallon plant expansion, Charlie. We're going from our current rated capacity of 15 million. At the end of the project, we'll be able to treat 20 million gallons of water. To meet our anticipated future demands based on our growth patterns, what we're seeing from our industrial customers, what we're seeing from the 121 growth. The water business is one of these businesses you're either ahead or behind, and we would much rather be ahead. Yes, it's very important to our economic future. A lot of these industries, for instance, large commercial that will bring in jobs and tax base, one of the very first questions they want to know is what your water availability is. What water do you have available that hasn't been spoken for yet? And we've had instances where we've had industrial customers that we just couldn't tell them that yes, we can satisfy your needs, and they've had to look elsewhere. This project, originally, when we first got into the design on this project, Charlie, we were looking at a project estimate of 14 million. As we got closer to 100% design, of course the economy was on that downward curve. Engineers' estimates were 11 million. Ultimately it bid at 7.6 million, and that's what this contract is right now, is a $7.6 million contract. This is a low interest loan from the Texas Water Development Board in the neighborhood of between 1.7 and 2% on this money. The bad economy or weak economic times, and we've been able to get a lot more work done for that money. There are some side projects that you will see as we move forward with this that we are working on currently. Another pipeline to come into town from the plant, some additional repairs to the existing plant structures, some things like that will also greatly improve us and reduce our operating costs going forward.
This is basically how the Cleburne water treatment plant works. This is the mix basin. All of the water coming in from the lake is mixed with all of the chemicals necessary to clean it, materials that makes the sediments stick together. The bigger the sediments, the easier it is to clean the water. The water next goes to the flocculator, where the water is stirred. That stirring is what activates the chemicals to make the sediments all form big clumps. The more the water is stirred, the stuff you want out of the water, known as floc, all gets together and becomes big particles. The dirty water from the flocculator then goes to the center core of the clarifier. This is where the heavy particles fall to the bottom of the tank. And as the water goes through the clarifier, more and more particles fall out of the water. And by the time it goes to the side of the tank, the water is clear, but it's not safe to drink. For that to happen, the water needs final filtration.
And we have specs from the engineers in the original design of what size of sand and what size of anthracite coal, and then what depth of each of those materials goes in there. But it's a mixed media, so it's a gravity flow. Water's flowing through that media, and that's giving it the final polish. We're really cleaning it up pretty, and then we hit with chlorine one more time and put it in the clear wells.
Either here at the plant's ground tanks or one of the many water towers located through Cleburne. A major part of this expansion is the construction of an additional flocculator, clarifier, and 2 water filters, and the relating piping. A flocculator, clarifier, and 2 filters can handle 5 million gallons of water per day. That's how the plant is expanding from 15 million to 20 million gallons in capacity.
The initial date that the contractor was looking at was June 2012, and that's what we're still holding to. As I mentioned, we believe we're ahead of that schedule right now significantly. You know, it just kind of depends on what the Lord brings us in the way of challenges with weather or anything like that. But right now we're looking really good, on track for summer next year to be in production.